Final update. I spent months restoring my late father's vintage motorcycle. One morning, I found it knocked over, scratched deep into the frame. My neighbor's son smiled and said, "It's just a bike." It looked old anyway. I walked away without a word. The next day, he came outside to find something missing. And just like that, he was back in Knoxville. Except now he had nowhere to go. His parents didn't take him back. They dumped him with his uncle on the east side, the one with the cracked front porch and 5 roommates. From the outside, it looked like a hard lesson, but I knew better. Ethan still had that grin under the surface, the kind that says, "You didn't beat me yet." So I kept going. He picked up a job at a tire shop out on Asheville Highway, a real dump of a place, but it paid cash. I stopped by one afternoon, had my oil changed, just to get a look at him. He was thinner, pale, hair grown out awkwardly, but his eyes were still mean. He saw me in the waiting room, didn't say a word, but I saw his jaw clench, which meant he hadn't forgotten. Good. Later that night, I parked across the street, lights off, and watched him leave work. He walked to the bus stop like every night, except that night, he didn't make it home with his backpack. Because while he was looking down at his phone, someone on a bike zipped past and ripped it off his shoulder. That someone was hired, paid in cash, told, "Do not hurt him. Just take the bag and drop it." Inside the bag was Ethan's only form of ID, his work papers, and most importantly, his notebook, the one where he kept records of what he'd sold under the table. Because yeah, he wasn't just fixing tires. He'd started flipping used rims from junkyards without permits. Not illegal if you do it clean, but Ethan didn't. And now I had proof, receipts, names, amounts. I scanned it all and sent it straight to the owner of the tire shop, marked anonymous tip. Next morning, Ethan was fired on the spot, no warning, no payout, just a shove and a don't come back. He tried to get another job, but without ID or references, nobody would take him. By the end of the week, he was sleeping on the uncle's couch and asking strangers online for cash. I watched the whole thing happen, but I still wasn't done. Because all this was still just the slow bleed. The final move was coming, and when it hit, it would be the kind of thing that made him wish he'd never seen my dad's bike. Everything was in place. Ethan was down to nothing, no job, no car, no school, no trust from his family. He was couch hopping and ducking questions. He couldn't even get his driver's license replaced because he had unpaid tickets tied to that fake Instagram account he used to message underage girls. But I wasn't finished yet, not until he felt what I felt, not until he knew what it meant to lose something you cared about. See, all this time, I'd been collecting more than just proof and photos. I'd been digging into his father. I found something on the county clerk's site. His dad had a past, not a criminal one, but a financial one. He filed bankruptcy back in 2015, recovered, rebuilt, but still shaky. Recently, he'd co-signed a private loan for a youth recovery fundraiser. Guess who it was for? Ethan. That reform school wasn't cheap. Turns out his dad was already behind on payments. So I called in a favor from a buddy who runs a lien service. I had him file a claim against the charger for unpaid custom work I'd supposedly done last year, before the wheel incident. I had receipts to back it up, fake, sure, but solid paperwork. Said I installed a performance exhaust system and remapped the ECU. It wasn't true, but it was just enough to hold the title in dispute until the matter was resolved in civil court. The bank panicked. Without a clean title, they couldn't process the loan payment. 3 weeks later, the charger was repossessed, hooked up and towed away in front of their house. Ethan's mom sat on the porch crying. His dad didn't say a word, just watched it go. Ethan was inside the whole time, watching from behind the curtain. I thought that would be the end, but then something happened I didn't expect. Ethan showed up at my house. It was late, maybe 10:30 p.m. I heard a knock, looked through the peephole, and there he was, no swagger, no smart mouth. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, eyes red, shoulders slumped. I opened the door but said nothing. He stared at me for a long second, then he said, "I get it." I didn't answer. He looked down at the porch, then back up. "You win, all right? I don't even know who I am anymore." That line hit me harder than I thought it would. He looked broken, really broken, but it didn't change anything. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. "I told you that bike wasn't just a bike," I said. He nodded, quiet. "You mocked my father. That's what this was always about." "I was just a stupid kid," he muttered. "You're still a stupid kid," I said, "but now you understand consequences." He took a step back like he expected me to hit him, but I didn't. "I don't want your apology," I said, "and I don't forgive you." Then I walked back inside, locked the door, watched through the blinds as he stood there a moment, then walked off into the dark. I thought that was the end, but karma had one more twist. A month later, I got a letter from a law office. Ethan's uncle had been arrested, illegal parts resale operation. Ethan had helped run it while he was working at the tire shop. He'd been moving stolen parts under the table for months. The notebook I stole? It ended up being key evidence in the investigation. He wasn't just out of a job, he was facing real charges now, possession of stolen property, fraud, tampering with evidence. He was 17 when it started, 18 now, tried as an adult. He got 9 months in county, 3 years probation. I read the news report 3 times, then I folded it up and slid it into the tool drawer under my dad's Triumph seat. The bike still runs like a dream. Took it out the next day, rode it through the back roads where my dad used to ride. The wind felt good. I didn't think about Ethan. I didn't think about revenge. I thought about Dad, what he would have done. Maybe not all of it, maybe not as far, but I knew he would have understood. Because when someone spits on what you love, when they laugh in your face while they do it, you don't just let it slide. You don't let it go. You teach them the way I taught Ethan. And now he remembers. Every time he sees a motorcycle, every time he walks past a tire shop, every time someone says the word respect, he remembers me. And more than that, he remembers my father. That's the part that matters, because that's the piece he'll never take back. Ever.